Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. This is a by request episode, so a message was sent to the private message inbox of the NCIX Tech Tips channel asking, how do I install LED lighting in my system? So we're gonna take what would be your run-of-the-mill, average, well, pretty decent looking gaming machine with some cool, blue and red performance colors going on inside and show you how to add some LED accent lights to make it look truly outstanding. We're going to be showing you guys a bit of a worst case scenario in terms of the complexity, where we have a modular power supply that doesn't have any 4-pin Molex connectors actually hooked up to it, so we'll show you how to make sure you have the right cables available. Also, we've got a bit of trickiness here in the top where there's not enough room for a full-length BitPhoenix Alchemy strip, which uses a 4-pin Molex to connect internally. So we're going to show you how you can utilize different lengths of LED strips to fit into those tough nooks and crannies. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to not only light the inside of your system, but also the outside with the cool ground effects using NCIX advanced lighting strips that are powered by USB and just run out of the back of your case and you can stick them onto the bottom. Very cool stuff. The first step whenever you're working with your computer is shut it down safely, turn off the power supply, but leave it plugged in order to make sure that when you touch the power supply, you're going to be able to ground yourself and eliminate any static electricity that might be discharged when you touch the internal components themselves. Only once this is done is it then safe to connect the necessary modular cable that we need to the modular power supply, route it to where we're planning to plug in the LED strips, and continue working on the computer. When placing the LED strips internally, it's important to consider where your window actually is. You can light up the drive bays, which will sit behind here all you want, but you're never even going to see that lighting. So we're going to be targeting most of our lighting towards the back of the case where the bulk of the cool looking components are anyway. So the strips usually come with an adhesive covering backing. There we go. Just pull that off. And on the BitPhoenix Alchemy strips particularly, the strips are using a very high quality adhesive. I always recommend placing the LED strips somewhere where the strip itself will not be directly visible because they're bright to the point of being blinding somewhat. But you want to be able to see the light from the strip, so obscuring it in a place like this is very beneficial. Our smaller strip will then be placed up here in that smaller spot that I said we had available. Now we should be able to get a pretty even lighting effect once we route the cables through the back and plug them into the power supply. And now you're pretty much done the inside lighting installation. All you have to do is turn your power supply back on, fire it up, and you've got some pretty sweet red LED lighting effects. Now, as you can see, the color scheme for this build has some blue in it as well. So we were thinking we'd add some red and blue underglow. Now, you can close the machine back up because you're pretty much done with the power supply itself because the outside ones are powered with USB. So all we have to do is take these strips, peel off the tape just like we did for the internal ones, tape them somewhere to the bottom. Don't obstruct any airflow though, so you want to be careful not to cover anything that looks really critical, although quite frankly they won't have that much of an impact on your airflow. Here we go. And we're going to get some sweet night shots for you guys to see our awesome LED lighting effects that we have now installed all by our lonesomes into our computer case. There you go. Those are there. The USB ports are now plugged in from the back. You don't actually have to dedicate one USB port per one. You could use a splitter or a hub. They don't consume much power. And we have, yes, some pretty sweet underglow going on. All right, guys, so this wouldn't be complete without some night shots, but I'm going to show you guys what our system looks like before the night shot. So we got some red accent lighting up here at the top to go with our Corsair red accented fans. We've got red lights glowing off of the bottom, and what's neat is because of that bottom fan mount there, you can see a little bit of the blue lighting there as well, which makes it look pretty sweet. Now, if I could get Slick to kill the lights, we see what it looks like with a blue underglow effect along this side. Nice, right? A red underglow effect along the other side. and the inside guts that look blood red and pretty freaking sick. So we'll probably do another 30 seconds or so of footage for you guys to admire our handiwork, and of course you can do this yourself for only a few bucks. Thank you for checking out this episode of NCIX Tech Tips, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this from your favorite e-tailer, NCIX.com.